received a request to explain the weird reflection mechanic on Illusens Staff and its synergy with Wand of the Dark Fairy. I've never actually used either of these weapons, so I took this opportunity to do some testing, and I'll cover those results in the later half of this video, but we'll start with the important stuff. After the revamp, battlers noticed that the new Battledome broke the synergy of this iconic combo. Individually, they are each still top-tier weapons, but the mechanic that made the combo so good in the old Battledome was changed, and even a former dev who worked on the new Battledome couldn't explain why. To understand the change, and really everything in this video, we need to list two axioms of the Battledome. Weapon effects are applied sequentially, and each effect is only applied once. Notice that both weapons have a healing effect. If you used both on the same round, the Battledome would take the first weapon, let's say Wand of the Dark Fairy, and check your current hit points to see if you get the 25% heal. If you do, the heal is applied and your hit points are updated before moving on. Now the Illusens Staff will check your updated hit points to see if you're below 20%. Since you are now above 20%, you will not get the heal from Illusens Staff. So weapon order can matter a lot in cases where your weapons have overlapping effects. You can control the order of your weapons by choosing which box you place them in. After you submit your move, your two weapons will swap places and apply from left to right. In the old Battledome, weapon order was determined by which weapon you clicked first. Again, the order would swap after submitting your move, so the weapon you selected first would apply second. In this example, I want the healing from my Illusens Staff to apply first, so I click it second. Now when I submit my move, the staff will apply its heal first. Because my pet started at less than 5% HP, I get the 20% heal. And because that still leaves me below 25%, I also get the 25% heal from the Wand of the Dark Fairy. In total, my pet healed for 45% of its max health. This heal stacking was part of what made this combo so good in the old Battledome, and it's something that is no longer possible because of a new mechanic that messes with weapon order. I'm using regular attacking weapons for this example, but the axioms still apply. When I submit my move, notice how my weapons swap places, and we can see in the combat log that the left weapon attacks first, then the right weapon, and then the fairy ability, left to right. Now watch what happens when I try this with the wand and staff. I want the wand to apply second, so I place it in the left box, but when I submit my move, it stays in the left box. We can confirm in the combat log that the wand's icons get applied first, and the 25% heal from the wand blocked the 20% heal from the staff. No matter how you order these two, the wand will always apply first. That means it's now impossible to stack the heals. The Wand of the Dark Fairy is not the only weapon to display this type of priority hopping behavior, but it is probably the weapon most impacted by this new mechanic. Even a former dev who worked on the new Battledome couldn't explain why this happens, but did say there were no specific plans to nerf this combo, so perhaps we could classify this as a glitch and get it fixed someday. Until then, you can use JellyNeo's Battlepedia to check for this tag to know whether or not a weapon will defy normal weapon order. Here's the full list of priority weapons as far as I've been able to find. The other half of the synergy that's been lost is the defensive part of these weapons, but before we can understand that, we first need to understand what the heck is going on with the reflection on Illusens Staff. For this example, we'll assume you, the user, are using just your Illusens Staff, and your opponent is using an evil bow and a regal skeith helmet, dealing a total of 3 dark icons and 4 light icons. I'll be working off the explanation given by JellyNeo's Battlepedia. Step 1. The user blocks all dark. Step 2. We check that dark damage has been blocked and light damage exists. Step 2a. The light makes a copy of itself into dark. So we now have 4 light icons and 4 dark icons. I'm going to call these fake dark icons just to differentiate them from the original dark icons that we blocked earlier. So we have 4 light and 4 fake dark. Step 2b. The user receives 100% of the light and 25% of the fake dark and reflects 75% of the fake dark. In the end, you took 4 light and 1 fake dark and you reflected 3 fake dark icons. I want to highlight something important here. Notice that the original 4 light icons made it all the way through this mess untouched. The more light icons there are, the more fake dark icons you send back at your opponent. So Illusens Staff wants to see lots of light, but it doesn't actually block any of it. And that's where the second half of the synergy comes into play. Wand of the Dark Fairy reflects 75% of light. Just standard reflection. Take 75% of the icons and send them back at your opponent. But to maximize your damage, you want the wand's reflection to apply after the staff has made its fake dark icons. We'll add the Wand of the Dark Fairy to our example and see how the final tally changes based on weapon order. We start with the same 3 dark and 4 light. If the wand applies first, we reflect 3 light icons, then Illusen's Staff blocks the 3 dark and uses the remaining 1 light icon to create 1 fake dark icon, and we reflect 0.75 of that 1 icon. Final tally, we take 1.25 total icons, and we reflect 3.75 icons. Now we'll try applying the staff first. The 3 dark icons get blocked, and the 4 light icons create 4 fake dark icons, and we reflect 3 of those. Then the wand reflects 3 of the light icons. Final tally, we take 2 icons of damage, and we reflect 6 icons. We can solve this for the general case where our opponent deals any number of light icons. If the staff applies first, we will take 50% of the original icon count, and we will reflect 150% of the original icon count. But if the wand applies first, which it always does now, we take 31% of the initial count and reflect only 93%. So there's the full extent of the unintentional nerf to the staff-wand combo. The max heal is only 25% instead of 45% of your max health, and the reflection is now 93% instead of 150% of incoming light icons. That's all the really important stuff you need to know about Illusen's Staff. The rest of this video will cover all the little details that I thought were interesting but not super useful. The first thing I did was try to figure out how the combat log renders the staff's dark defense. Notice how the number here does not match up with the actual number of dark icons dealt. That's because the defense display in general is kinda weird, and it will scale the number up or down depending on the ratio of the attacker's strength boost to the defender's defense boost. The BD chat has a rule that says when testing defense, don't count icons. It's a good rule, but I frequently ignore it because I like to know how these numbers are being calculated. I eventually figured out the combat log is combining both the initial dark defense and the 25% fake dark icons into one not at all helpful number. This first term takes the actual dark damage blocked and converts it into an icon count based on my defense boost. In other words, if I were using a regular shield instead of a full blocker, how strong would that shield need to be for my pet to block this amount of damage? The second term calculates how much damage I'm taking from the 25% fake dark, and again converts that into icons based on my defense boost. So the final number here is showing the initial dark damage blocked minus the fake dark damage that I deal to myself. After I got that all figured out, I tried different ways of tricking Illusen's Staff into activating its reflection when it shouldn't. As far as the dark defense goes, there's nothing you can do here. The staff must block some dark damage in order for the reflection to activate, and the staff does not interact at all with broken dark icons, so be aware of those. These are different from the fake dark I've been talking about. Broken dark icons are dark icons that got mistyped in the database, so they don't work properly. In this first example, the attacker moves second, so the broken dark icons act like an 8th icon type that just happens to use the same image. These icons still deal damage, but regular dark defense can't touch them. In this second example, the attacker moves first, so the broken dark icons are actually broken and don't deal any damage. To the best of my knowledge, this is the full list of items and abilities that use broken dark icons. The light condition is actually a little more strict than the Battlepedia language might suggest. The staff must be able to see the light icons in order to copy them. So if you use a full light blocker before the staff, it won't generate any fake dark icons. Likewise, under certain reflection scenarios, the staff's defense will have already applied before your opponent reflects any light icons at you, so the staff won't be able to see them. There is also now a special third layer of weapon effects, which allows for some crazy triple and quadruple reflection scenarios where the staff can see one layer of reflected light icons, but not the next layer. In that case, it will only copy the icons that it can see. You can also activate the reflection by dealing light icons to yourself. The only weapon I know of that can do this is the Elegant Jeweled Robe. It deals 3 light icons at your own strength boost to your own pet. Now, dealing damage to yourself so you can reflect it is not that great. unless it's using your opponent's strength boost like the Spellseeker Vial of Power. But this does suggest that if we ever get a weapon that deals self-inflicted dark icons, we could use that to activate the staff's reflection against a hypothetical opponent that uses lots of light but no dark. Of course, if your opponent is using lots of light, then you're probably better off using the much cheaper Superior Reflection Shield instead of trying to cheese it with self-damage. I just really like the idea of purposely tanking your own icons so you can reflect them, but I don't think it has any viable uses right now. And a week after I recorded this, the Advent Calendar released a new weapon that deals 2 self-inflicted dark icons. So here's my hypothetical, brought to life by a true Christmas miracle. Still not very useful. These self-inflicted icons bring up another question though. Whose strength boost is used for these fake dark icons? Turns out each fake dark icon will use the same boost as the light icon it was created from. So in this example, some of the fake dark is using my opponent's strength boost, and some is using my own strength boost. And even though the end result all gets rendered into one line, the Battledome is tracking these icons separately. The final part of my testing revolves around the healing mechanic. I found that in general, drain damage will apply before Illusens Staff applies its heal. So getting hit by a cursed elixir or Hubbard's puzzle box can actually bump you down into heal territory. This holds true regardless of which pet moves first. On the other hand, you can bump yourself out of healing range by pairing the staff with another healing item. Here my pet used an everlasting crystal apple, and the 30 HP heal bumped him above the threshold for Illusens Staff. This will happen regardless of weapon order. And that's everything I was able to find. It's been a while since I've had the motivation to test stuff like this, but it turned out to be a fun project. So thank you to the viewer who requested this, and I hope you guys find this type of stuff interesting, because 2022 marks the 10th anniversary of the new Battledome, and to celebrate I have some larger Battledome videos planned for September and October of next year. See you then!